Hi my friend, it's Pat Solon here. So today we have a Book Nook, so I'm going to show you a book that I really love. It has some interesting different parts to it that I think you'll enjoy based on some of the questions you've asked me lately. And this morning, first I have to tell you this because I'm like, it's still in the midst of doing this, but I emptied off the shelves down here on my rolling assistant. So those two shelves down there are now empty, and everything on them is spread out on the back side of my table. So because I needed to get that under control, I had some other things coming in for future projects, things to show you, stuff that needed to be put away. I'd already shown you it, and it just was stacking up in there. So I got that done. So beside the Book Nook, I'm going to show you where I am with the wreaths, because I got a lot of the sashing stuff done for the wreaths yesterday evening. I spent about an hour, and I'll show you what I got done, because remember I already had a cut and then a few other goodies going on. So the book I want to show you is a scrapbook of quilts by my friends Joanna Figueroa and Carrie Nelson. So Joanna is the person who designed the fabric I used for Summer Soiree. I've used her fabric a lot. She's also the designer of the Woodland Wonderland that we're going to do, and the fabrics for that. I love Joanna. I've known her forever. Carrie Nelson is also just a fantastic designer. You may have followed Miss Rosie years ago when she had her pattern company. She now works for Moda Fabrics. So she's one of their employees and does a lot of the things that you see tagged as Moda. She writes for their blog. So the book is really cool. They have put together a few super interesting elements that I really like. It is by my publisher, Martingale, the same person who publishes my books. So let's take a look. The beginning part is where they really did a great job showing you their thought process and walking through it a bit, which I really like that. So you got here they both are, and they walk through in the first part here. I'll just show you the different sections. So I'm going to, sometimes upside down, because this is the process all about color. So they go through and each of them talk about how they approach color. They both have amazing color sense and very different color sense, but they blend super well together. They're talking about vintage quilts. They both have a super huge love of vintage and are greatly inspired by vintage quilts, and so they're talking about that. Look at the photography. It's so wonderful. They're going to have a few extra parts in here, like, okay, here we go. So here's the tools that they like to use, some of their favorite tools, and then they have a section on making pin cushions, making great pin cushions. Carrie's pretty well known for that. And the patterns all have a lot of different sizes. Plus, this is all about pillows. So we got pin cushions and then pillows. And that's really the two sort of extra bonus things they talk about in here. Because what they're going to do, this picture sort of tells you the whole thing, is they're going to have a quilt. They're going to show you it in pillows. They're going to show you in multiple colors. They'll show you pin cushions. They'll show you table runners. So they're taking the same block and showing you in here, or the same quilt, and showing you all these different ways that you can use it, so that you don't have to think about it. They've laid it all out for you. So they start with some spool blocks. Yeah, we'll do this as we go along. So here is the first one, which you can see the spool quilt. Like, who doesn't love a spool? It's a fabulous. And they've got it two different ones, so they're turned, and I love this border on here. And then look how different it is as a pillow. I love the long pillow. Okay, and there you can kind of see how it goes. And let me show you. There's some more lots of diagrams. See, they've got lots of details within these. They're not just a plain spool. So you can get different sizes. There's the pillow and the pin cushions. So see the pin cushions? Super cute. Okay, so what are some of the other ones? This is my favorite. And what they call this? I have to read upside down. This is called 9 Across. This is just an absolutely fantastic quilt. And for scrap busting, oh my goodness, don't you think that would be just amazing? Yeah, I want to do that with scraps. I like the red, white, and blue version. And then here I'm going to flip over and show you the one done in the other. Well, here's a couple photos of the red, white, and blue. I've got this piece of paper. Sorry. So there you can see it on the bed. Some close-ups. Let me show you the blue version, the lighter version rather, which is done by Joanna. Oh, here we go. So what's kind of cool is that the lighter version has a totally different vibe, and because of the colorations, it's got a different feel. Now she used the same green in a lot of the spots, and I think it's probably a little less scrappy, so it gives you just this whole totally other look. Now I'm going to show you one more in here called the Oregon Trail. This is very cool. Now that particular block uses a template, and what they did is the template pattern is in here, but if you would prefer acrylics, you can get an acrylic package to add on. So I'll link you to that down below, because I find these are much more useful if you're doing a whole quilt than paper. But you know, the paper patterns in here, you have to trace it off, and you could put it on your own cardboard and use it. Let me show you a couple of the pictures. Here you go. Look how amazing that looks in those oranges and blues. Now you know I got really excited about those two colors together when we were doing Summer Soiree. So this totally speaks to me. Totally. All right. And now we've got this Pirouette. Look at the Pirouette. This is the ultimate scrappy, isn't it? Done. This is Carrie's version, I believe, with all of this scrappiness, love. But there's another version of it with that looks like a wreath. So let me see here. You can see the layout. And here's Joanna's version. And they also in this book give you different ways to make this many half square triangle units. So they go through and show you directions here on how to do it for several different products that can make it easier for you. All right, here it is. Here it is as a Christmas version. And I think they just did the one. Let me flip to another page here. This is gorgeous. Okay, now I may have to switch out and do that for my wreath on the front door. Okay, no, that's the only picture of that. And then more pin cushions in the back here, showing you how to do pin. And then this is another quilt in here in the book called Cathedral Garden. So another super one for scrappiness. I like the border on that one. And here it is in the other colorway. Looks like summer, doesn't it? So this is a beautiful book by Joanna and Carrie. It is one of those books where you'll find yourself going back to it again and again. And if you are looking for a bit of inspiration on how people think about their quilts and put together scrappy quilts, these two know how to do it. They are experts. All right. I had to get some Christmas fabric, I had to. And I got the Hustle and Bustle layer cake. So what I'm thinking is using the layer cake book to do up a Christmas quilt. And I had to get it because of these two fabrics. Let me just show you. There's people fabric. I just adore. I have some old, they're like vintagey looking. Okay, there it is. Look at the people. So there's, they have it in several colors, backgrounds like white and other things. And did I get a white one too? I got the green. We got the red and the green with the people. Over the years, I have collected several Christmas fabrics that have people on them. I should go get them all out sometime and show them to you. There's another print from the line. And the big floral, now I do need to get a piece of the big floral. I don't have that yet. What's wrong with me? It's just a super pretty line. It's got a text print here. Oh, got the bag on here. So it has a text, it has, like text for Christmas. It's got a dot, the green. There's one with like, I don't know, it's like, I got like little hearts and candy canes. So the prints are great. There's a deep red, and then this beautiful floral comes in red and white and some other things. There's a gray with the people, red dots. So it's just super. I love it, and I have to go through that perfect perfect 10 book and find one of them to do this with and get the floral and use it as a border. Just so many amazing quilts to do all the time. My brain doesn't ever stop. All right, let me just go and swing this around and let's take a look at the wreaths over on the other wall. So you can see I have all of the sashings now in place. I have all of the sew and flips on everybody, and I've got them where they should be in place. And this, because I had the strips and the squares cut, I then took me about an hour to put on all of the reds, you know, half square triangles, and being very careful. I didn't have to, I didn't mess up not once. I didn't have any dates with Jack. I didn't have to undo anything. And then I sewed the entire bottom row. Oops, had a pin in there. So I sewed the whole row. So I have this guy all done, and I have, see, this is the units where they come together to make the bottom of that middle section. So I now have middle sections everywhere ready to go on. Like these have to be sewn together, but I have these top ones done for up there. And that doesn't mean, so that means I suspect that I have maybe another, half an hour to put those all, set them, maybe an hour at the most. So that's pretty good. I have this weird thing where I like to know how long it takes to do stuff. That's like, I don't know if you're like that, but I have always been like that. I'm very time oriented. I like to know how long it takes to do things. I used to do project management, which of course is all about how long it's going to take to do anything. So it suited my personality well. So that's just to give you an idea. If you think, sometimes if you think a project is going to be so huge and humongous and you're like, oh, I can't start, just start, because all of a sudden you'll spend 30 minutes and you'll be so far along that you'll amaze yourself. That's why I always say sew 10 minutes a day, and it generally you'll sew more than that. But if you sew at least 10, you will get so much done and you will just move forward on your projects. Okay, my love. Okay, my friend. If you're looking for a super cool book, this was my Book Nook, my review today. And remember, if you like to that particular Oregon Trail, and I would recommend getting the templates. It's just because you're going to make so many blocks. It's going to be more accurate that way. So I love you. Mwah. See you online.